He has a 1-1 count. That one's struck high. Left side. That one's going. That's out of here off the You have got to be kidding me. Fireworks. Here you go. All right, everybody, welcome one and welcome all inside High and Tight, the flagship show, part of the iBaseball Network. As always, the show where we talk all about baseball in Iowa, from the high school to the professional ranks, everywhere in between. We have a whole lot of fun with it, and we love to interact with you having a whole lot of fun with it. So as always, please hit us up, iabaseball1@gmail.com. Hit us up on all the fine entities we are a part of as well, including Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and interact with us wherever you can. Give us your thoughts, comments, questions, where we should go, what we possibly may have missed, or what we should add on to our broadcast, to our show, to our content, everything in between, because it is for you. We all want great baseball in the state of Iowa, and luckily these athletes, coaches, and umpires give that to us. So again, please give us anything you got, including highlight reels, videos, photos, and more. We'd love to collaborate with you. We'd love to highlight these guys in any way, shape, or form. So please let us do that. And if you're a player and you have a big day, let us know. Hit us up. That's what it's all about. We want to highlight your big days. We want to highlight everything from retweets to collaborations and highlights, which we will have on this show. And of course, can't go without forgetting to mention, making sure to check out everything and give your thoughts, comments, and more on, that's right, all of the team rankings that were just released, plus individual rankings that are out there as well. Many other things, including our top freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior lists, our overall top 100s, and so much more. And of course, our conference looks as well. Make sure to check those out. Just head on over to rockfin.com/iabaseball for some of that. But for the rest, check these out right here, and check out our social media feeds for even more in-depth stuff, including larger images of these. So again, the rundown as we take a look at High and Tight. Again, this will be a really fun show. First and foremost, we will give you amazing scene this week. That's right, amazing stuff that we got to see this week from your videos and beyond. Really cool stuff of highlight home runs, nice defensive plays, cannons in the outfield, and of course, just great baseball work altogether. We want to see that so we can highlight you on this show. Plus, we have our player of the week for week 1 to announce here. The votes are tallied, they're in, and we do have a winner. So a lot to get to there. Plus, our main entree for this show here tonight includes a conversation about the mental game. That's right, with Shane Schellsmidt, behavior interventionist, to help athletes. He specifically loves to get in and help athletes to overcome mental obstacles and to reach their fullest potential. We get the chance to talk with him on some steps that you can take right now, some big things to focus on, and some really key advice that you can continue to learn from him as you go out and check what he is doing here at Shane Schellsmidt online, as well as many different places. So check with him on Twitter, check with him online. A lot of different places. Again, right here, a great way to catch with them as we have on social media. So make sure to connect with him. Again, he is talking about the mental impact on the game and how you can take your game to the next level, truly get so much better just by implementing mental strategies. Tom Brady does it, and look how that ended up for him, right? He became one of the all-time greats. And again, the mental game can impact the physical game so much. Just get out there, get some help, look at it. This guy has great tips on social media that you can catch for absolutely free, but to gain his services is so much more valuable. So again, we will have that entire conversation coming on up in a few moments from now. But first and foremost, again, what a week one it was. Congrats to all those teams who got out there and did their thing. A big shout out here, including teams like Pella, Waukee, even Bettendorf. Bettendorf, love what Wrigley Mathis and company are doing at Bettendorf. Love what Meeker, DeJesus, Sorensen and company are doing there. Just turning into a juggernaut type of team. Big kudos shout out to Waukee Northwest. What a scrappy team, gritty team they are. Same with North Polk. Love that. Love the broadcast. And if you want to see more of our game broadcasts, just go back to IA Sports right here, and you'll be able to catch them on the YouTube channel. Plus, all live games are streamed there as well. So make sure to check out that. And by the way, give us your thoughts. Where should we go each and every week? We'd love to hear from you so we can go to the games that you want us at. That's been a big priority for us the last couple of years. Games that you want us to go to. So please make that happen today. All right, so let's dive into it here. The first part up on the docket as we look at the list of things that we're looking for is the highlight reel of them all. It's time for Amazing Scene this week. That's right. Amazing stuff. First and foremost, some big bombs that have come the way. No, not lethal, but lethal for other opponents. We start with Nate Riley, who, again, just starts off the 2025 season in the best way possible with an absolute blast. Take a look. And of course, a guy that we have been really high on, a guy that proved he is one of the top juniors in the state. He proved he was one of the top sophomores last year, has even ramped it up now. It's the one and only Caleb Lefevre. He started off, we've all known him as a strong arm, and now you got to know him as a holistic player. He took a big bomb yard, so let's take a look. And of course, can't go without mentioning the JUCO World Series going on right now, and a lot of great stuff going on. First off, two teams coming on that have really come on strong. Boom. Iowa Central and Southeastern, they are absolutely dominated. The Blackhawks for the second straight year, an at-large bid, just absolutely raking. And of course, Iowa Central won the regional tournament, get the chance, and they went through a gauntlet to do so. They earned the right, again, across a lot of these teams like the Blackhawks just to get there. And of course, they made a lot of amazing things happen, including this right here. Again, amazing stuff. Both of those teams, one loss in the tournament, but they're still not out. They get a chance to continue on and roll on. And of course, we'll update you on that as we go along. But again, kudos to Southeastern and to Iowa Central making it to the big dance. Speaking about making it to the big dance, we couldn't go without mentioning Grandview, could we? This is a team that is absolutely has dominated the scene this year, and kudos to a year that they had. You know, they're top 25 in overall hits, top 15 in slugging percentage, and of course, top 20 in home runs. And that's across a huge scene, including Shreveport and other huge names. Grandview on top of that list as well. They were right in there with the best of the best. This was a team, guys, that ended up, they had a 17-game winning streak this year. Are you kidding me? That's almost unheard of. Coach Brinker needs the biggest of shout outs. When you follow an absolute legend like Coach Yasinich, it's hard to keep that legacy going, that stellar reputation progressing. And what did he do? He has come on and made huge strides, deep postseason runs, including an NIAA World Series appearance. First time in, well, a long time. It has been absolutely dominating to see them do that, and it's been absolute pleasure. Thank you to Coach Brinker and Grandview. I mean, this was a team that when we got to see them at home, they rarely lost. Just 2 losses on the home turf. Home field advantage was absolutely stellar. They gave on a perfect show every time out. So again, kudos to them. And of course, as always, make sure to give us your thought, your amazing scene this week moments, right? That's amazing scene this week. What did you see? Videos that we can help highlight and more. And we want to hear all about that each and every week right on the show. All right, now it is time, ladies and gentlemen. We have a winner. That's right. We have a winner in our midst. And we had a number of individuals for our player of the week. As you can see here, a multitude of guys. Honestly, this list could have been 25 deep. That's how good it was. Again, it was hard enough to narrow it as it was here, but you've got some dynamic players. Before I give you the winner here, let me just say that in high school baseball, you have 21 outs to work with. 21. There are some individuals who nearly went the complete distance. In fact, we had one individual go 19 strikeouts. I mean, honestly, when you only allow 2 outs or 2 different outcomes to not be strikeouts the entire game, man, you're rocking it. Again, kudos, shout out, and honestly, that is absolutely stellar. And again, apologies if the name is wrong, but Brody Wegnes is absolutely dominating early out of North Butler. Rockford, love Rockford, but they had no chance. 19 strikeouts, 1 hit, 7 innings pitched. Absolute dominance. And then, of course, you got the one and only Tate Slagle. I mean, not only is he Iowa Hawkeye bound, but for a good reason. Spencer, a strong team, struggled against him. He went 7 innings deep, 17 strikeouts. Are you kidding me? Absolutely phenomenal. I don't know how you get much better than that. And then, of course, Brent Yankovic out of West Delaware. We've already notated him as one of the top upperclassmen in the state. 83 total bases from last year. We've seen his offensive prowess. Now we get to see his pitching prowess, which many have had before. We get to highlight it here. Again, 6 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 17 strikeouts. But again, this is all voted on by you on our Facebook poll each and every week. Facebook is where to go to give your vote, cast your vote, and get them in. We get them all tallied, and we post it up. And let's see if I can find a nice drum roll for us. It is Brett Yankovic is the winner. West Delaware native, 17 strikeouts across this 6 innings pitch. He is the vote leader right now with over 1,000 votes casted. And again, we go all the way into Monday. Monday morning is when we cut the voting off. And again, Brett Yankovic is our winner of Player of the Week. So please go ahead and give your thoughts on more Player of the Week action as we go through along. We could get some prizes going here for you. So, hey, more motivation. Get your Player of the Week vote or Performance of the Week vote in each and every week. We will reveal it on the show Monday. All right, so we continue right along here with even more great coverage. we get the chance once again to dive into a huge conversation. We got done not too long ago with the Strike Out the Stigma event, focusing on mental health. We also got the chance not too long ago to talk with Shane Schellsmidt, who is a behavior interventionist, and he prioritizes into athletics and helping athletes reach their highest potential. And here's a hint, guys, it goes far beyond athletics, but into the overall grand scheme of life. So you're double dipping here in a great way. So, hey, how do you improve your performance? There are some tips that you can do right now to help boost your mental performance. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's dive into our conversation with Coach Schellsmidt, behavior interventionalist and hitting coach extraordinaire. Take a listen our way because there are a lot of things when you take a look at getting prepped for the season, athletes getting ready, and even during the season, getting ready for just games, day by day things. There are a lot of things that go on, and oftentimes we highlight the physical side of things. You know what their stats look like. You know how they're built. You know the speed that they have, things like that. There's a whole another side of the story here when it comes to not just not just the mental side of the game, but how it interacts with what's going on the field, you know what you can do, you know things that you do in game, in day, in month, in week, in year, that kind of thing. There's a lot of stuff that goes into that, and it's a hard path to navigate. Not a lot of us are very successful at it, but we get the chance to have that conversation here. We get the chance to dive into it, and we get the chance as we dive right onto the hotline. Shane Schellsmidt joining us here on the Insolites.com hotline. And I want to say, Coach, thanks again for joining us. Hopefully, in the spirit of getting names right, hopefully I nailed that for you.
Oh, you're perfect. Hey, Andrew, I appreciate being on here. Excited to get started. But first off, hey, you're doing a great job. I've been following you ever since you got online, and you're doing wonderful things. You're putting players out there, and they get a limited window, and you're giving them an opportunity to have some memories and put some things away. And it's just fantastic what you're doing.
Well, I appreciate that. And I say that from appreciation of what we see you doing as well. And it is so fun when in the grand scheme here, Coach. I know you know this well, but all the players that interact with, that we interact with, all the coaches we interact with, everybody, the umpires we interact with, it's really a fun conversation to have with them. Uh, so many of these guys deserve to get their names out there, deserve all of these things. And Iowa gets dogged on for having high school ball in the summer sometimes, but in the end, I think a lot of these guys just make it so easy because they love the game just as much as we do, and they know that we love the game, and it's really kind of a cool combination to have that interaction between them and really kind of once the season begins, it's amazing. And then once the season ends, it's like, what do we do from here? So
Right.
it's always pretty fun. But Coach, I wanted to get into one. I what I saw, what you were doing. I reached out, again in large part because there are a lot of really good things coming up, whether it's social media. You're very active there on social media, really connecting with everybody wherever they're at. But a lot of good phrases, a lot of good sayings, really things that are not just hey, let's have a good day, but actionable items that really could take. And so I wanted to dive in, and you are, as we have talked about, a behavior interventionist. Of course, you've had a lot of coaching time as well, and a lot that I get when I look at your content is there's far more to the game than the physical and even mental. How do we bridge the gap? And it really seems like that's kind of where you're at effectively bridging the gap between the physical part of the game and the mental part of the game. First off, I kind of take us through how did you get to be where you're at now? Again, from all the coaching experience, everything, and becoming a behavior interventionist. How did we arrive at this location? How did we arrive at this time for you?
Well, I was pretty fortunate enough to play for Gene Schultz in
Yeah.
Lansing at Key High School, and after I transitioned out, I had the opportunity to play for Bill Krejci at Southwestern Community College, a national renowned hitting guy, and it's uh, by playing for those two coaches, I think you get like a master's degree in resilience, how to work through battle anxiety, because every game matters. You know,
Yep.
with playing for Coach Schultz at Key High School, the goal was to win 40 and get to the state championship. That was our goal, and
There you go.
that's not easy to do. And playing for Coach Krejci at Southwestern, we were a Division I junior college playing some of the best competition in America. You got Indian Hills, Iowa Western, and all those programs, and
Oh yeah.
you have to learn how to compete. And a lot of those players at those levels have fantastic physical skills. But as you like, everybody knows it's what happens between the ears. And
Hmm.
I did that for a few years, and when my playing time was done, I had the opportunity to get a young head coaching position at the University of Dubuque. While doing that, Jerry Raditz helped me out a little bit to let him, kind of tag along a little bit when he was
Yep.
helping the Dodgers. And I don't know, it's when that ran its course, I wanted to get back into teaching because that was where my background was coming out of the University of Dubuque, and
Yep.
I was fortunate to get boots on the ground at Four Oaks, an alternative school, and my job every day was trying to find a way to connect with our students,
Hmm.
finding a way to work on what triggers them, um, body cues,
Yep.
de-escalation strategies, because someday they're all going to be parents. These people are going to be parents. They're going to be out in the community, and they're going to have they're going to be involved in so many different things. And what can we do to prepare them for the next phase of their life? And while living in that world and still coaching and giving private lessons, you get to see that it's just not on the field and it's just not in the classroom. These are all intertwined,
Yeah.
and once we identify how to work through who we are, we can find that best version of ourselves. But
Hmm.
it's not just in one bucket, one silo. I see hitters all the time, and I'm like, well, if they would apply what I'm talking to elementary students, middle school students, high school students, if they would apply some of those skills and strategies, wow, what type of player could they be? What type of player could they be?
Yeah.
Because when you're watching games, it doesn't matter at what level, everybody can play a little bit, but it's what are they doing before they get in the box to set them up for success?
Hmm.
And that's kind of where I'm at. Can we find a way to bridge that gap? And while they're out there, because it's a limited time, right? You only get so many at bats, so many games, so many opportunities. What
Hmm.
can we do on the front end to prepare them to be the best player they can be? So I
Yeah.
just think it's a challenge. It's fantastic. It's
Yeah.
fantastic, and not a lot of people want to do it, but I love the idea of peeling back the layers and find out what's truly inside this hitter and how do we get it out of them.
Well, and that's ultimately, if we could duplicate that everywhere, and I'm sure with the coaches that we have here, a lot of them are feeling really similar. But what I also find very fascinating is, again, I love the background that you have, and it's not always rooted in the games. Like you were talking about stuff outside of the game of baseball or softball and things like that. 13 years as a behavior interventionist as well as a special education teacher. One, thank you for what you've been doing, what you currently do, but also with that, it seems as though when you were talking there that a lot of things can be applied, across. It doesn't have to be, hey, if you're a baseball guy, only use baseball lingo. What sort of things have you kind of taken from outside of the baseball diamond or softball diamond? What have you been able to take from your time in the classroom in those two roles, and among others that you have had? What's kind of helped transition that really are impactful, actionable steps that players can use today?
First off, I think we got to build trust
Hmm.
in order to make some of those big changes. These are like life changing goals, right? To change the way we
Yep.
think. That hitter has to want to make a change first and foremost. And then we have to build trust. Without trust, it's not going to matter.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to build that connection. And then when we're talking to hitters, like we can't have that same conversation with everybody. It's there's no one way. There's no cookie cutter way of building trust and starting those conversations. At the University of Butte, Dan Runkle sat us down as young coaches and said, "Hey, when you're out on the recruiting trail, we got to have 3 different conversations. You got 3 different types of prospects, 3 different goals, 3 different strategies, and you got to figure out immediately within a short amount of time how do I present myself to this guy, to this player, to this prospect, to this family." So I think just like in the classroom, we have a limited amount of time. So we have to figure out what makes them tick, what motivates them, what triggers them, and what can I do to build this trust and build this next conversation. Because the strategies and this advice does not matter if they don't buy into what you're saying. If they don't trust
Yep.
you, it doesn't matter. It does not matter. It's all fool's gold. It sounds wonderful, but they have to want to hear your words. They have to want to be in that conversation. So getting a buy-in from the family, getting a buy-in from the student gives us a chance to see what motivates them. And then we're going to build a plan based on where they are right now, where do they want to be in 6 months, where do they want to be in 12 months. It's just like, but it starts with trust. It starts with who they are. Because if
Yep.
you go with the same material every time, they're not going to trust you. They're not going to believe you. You got to figure out what makes them tick and then start applying what you have accumulated from the hitting background, from the softball, from the baseball. That is secondary until we earn their trust. So
Right. Yeah, and it certainly I agree with that wholeheartedly. I mean, and it really does make sense when you talk all when you build it all together. And again, Coach, as we continue to roll on here, again with the season starting up, you know, a lot of guys, a lot of gals, obviously as we kind of go with baseball and softball world here, obviously there's a lot of we're getting prepped for the season, right? Some people have just got done with spring leagues. There's some are in other sports. A lot of just feeling like they're prepped in there. We all know about the physical prep. We all know how to get what workouts to do, what stretches to do, what exercises with the bat to do. But when they think about, okay, how do we connect that with our mind? Because even when you step out in the in the batter's box or even the on deck circle, I mean, it is your mind that you're using to help you with everything. It is a huge aspect of it, another section of your game, so to speak. But again, we talk so much about the physical things to get ready, but what are some of the mental things when you talk about bridging that gap and making sure your body and your mind are ready to go when you arguably do the hardest thing in the world to hit a round ball with a round bat? What are some of the mental preparation steps, or what are the mental techniques or strategies that players could do to help them get ready on that side of the ball as well?
fantastic. What I try to talk about with our players is trying to understand what mindfulness is. I need them to understand and I need them to buy into letting go of the past,
Mm-hmm.
and we're not going to worry about the future. I want them to practice being where their feet are. Meaning, when I get in the batter's box, I can, even if I succeeded in the past, we're in a new at bat, right? Next pitch, here we come.
Mm-hmm.
I can't walk into the batter's box. I'm 0 for 3 today. Oh man, I don't want to be 0 for 4. So it made it even tougher, right? It's making it even
Yeah.
tougher. So as a hitter, as a player, can I find a way to slow my brain and body down?
Mm-hmm.
And practicing mindfulness, just understanding where I am in the moment in time, blocking out the distractions. And how do I do that? If I focus on my breath, if I can feel the air entering and exit my body, if I'm thinking
Uh-huh.
about that, I'm not thinking about what I did earlier,
Yeah.
right? If I'm visualizing when is the pitcher gonna when's this I'm gonna dance with the pitcher. When is he gonna break his hands? If I'm focusing solely on feeling and controlling my breath and looking for the break of the hands, having sharp focus on what's taking place on the mound, I'm not worried about what took place earlier in the ball game. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
worried about anything else, but I need to find a way to slow my brain down and have one swing thought, and which is tough to do. We have to practice maintaining our focus. People don't want to do it because it takes a lot of work, but
Yep.
you need to find a way to walk into the batter's box and just love where I am right now, be passionate with where I am right now,
Mm-hmm.
and focus solely on living in that phone booth. Most kids don't even know what a phone booth is, but living in a phone booth and just controlling my breath
Mhm.
and and just focusing on what's in front of you, not what's behind you, not what you hear, not nothing.
Yeah.
Focus on just what is this pitcher doing and how can I sync my body and my brain up with what's taking place? Because if I walk in there and think, oh, I hope I don't do this, I better not do that. Like you said, it's one of the toughest things to do in sports, and you just made it a lot tougher. We got to control what we can control, and that's all about walking in there and not being
Mhm.
emotionally hijacked and just staying where I can right now. And that's
Yeah.
easy to say. You know, I pull our players out from time to time and I ask them, hey, when you're walking in the box, what's one focus word that you can have to bring you back, an anchor to keep me here and not worry about what dad's saying in the crowd? What's a strategy you can work on to slow your brain down? Can you stay focused for 10 to 15 seconds? In that 10 to 15 seconds, I challenge you to control your breath because sitting in that other dugout, you can watch what the hitter's doing. If they're all jazzed up, if all this energy is going,
Yeah.
well, he wants a fastball, so I'm just going to take it away from him.
Yeah, you
Or if
go.
they just look too stiff, well, let's get a fastball in their hands and then make them think a little bit more. So if I can control the way I carry myself, how I handle myself, can I be a great poker player in the box? That other coach or that catcher is not going to know what to throw you. But if you have all this energy, I'm just going to slow it down and take it away from you. And then you're walking back to back to the dugout thinking, I've been in the cage, I've been in the weight room, I'm putting all this time. Why can't I find the ball? Because you are telling me too much. You're being too loud with your body. There's too much
Mhm.
energy. And I'm going to turn all that energy into your weakness. I'm going to do the opposite of what you want. And too many high school hitters, it doesn't matter where we're at, if it's a 1A or a 4A, get in there and they want to have the greatest day ever. And sometimes you're showing me too much, and I'm just going to take it away from you. And that energy is great, but don't let me know it. Don't let me see it. Be calm and relaxed. And I think that's like the secret sauce. That's like the cheat code to having success is to control your breath, control your emotion, and don't let anybody know what you're thinking.
A poker, have the best poker face in the box. I love that.
Stone
That
cold,
that
stone cold.
Stone, be Mr. Steve Austin while you're in there. You know,
Right, right.
love it. But again, ladies and gentlemen, we get the chance to talk again mental side of the game and beyond here as we can talk on. And again, from coach does a lot when it comes to not just physical but the mental side of the game, which is kind of the route we're taking here. And coach, again, one of the things that I think is uh, that I have seen, I know you have seen too. You know, athletes again from softball, baseball, beyond. You know, everyone's ready to go, get to that college scene, right? But boy, there is a transition here, and it again. It everything is elevated from when you get to higher competition. That includes physical, that includes the emotional, everything you want to think about. One thing that you have talked about several times that I've seen is really making sure that that transition is as smooth as well. Uh, Getting to the college level means also being mentally prepared as well, and I don't think that that's as looked at as it should be. And when you look at guys and gals trying to get to that next level, you know what are some of the things that they need to do or get prepped for? What are some of the things that you take them through when in terms of, hey, we need now to reach this level, and it's not just a one trick pony. We need to we need to get there in this, and this. I mean, what do you do? Well, how do you take them through getting ready? And once they get there, what's kind of, I don't know, the secret sauce in order for them to be successful with the mental side of the ball as well?
Well, the first thing I thought of when you threw the question at me was when I was a first year coach, I sat with Bill Krejci and we were watching Southwestern play. I forget which school it was, but he's like, hey, who you out here watching today? Who are you watching? And I name dropped a couple of guys, and he goes, "I want you to watch that third baseman. He's had two, he's had two big two out hits and knocked in a couple runs. He's like, some of these other guys have some flash, they have some skill, but this guy, this third baseman, he's come through in two big situations. So that's always kind of stuck with me. And over the years, you watch a lot of guys that have skill, players that have ability, but how many of them come through when you need it? There's pressure, there's adversity. A lot of hitters can have a great day when the team is up big, or you can have some players do well and the team is down big.
Yep.
But what players can transcend? What players can walk in the box with the pressure against a high level pitcher and find a way to catch a barrel? And I'm not even just talking about leaving the yard. Can I find a way to keep the players moving and drop one in, find some green in the outfield? So when we talk about if I want to move on to the next level, I got to have a wonderful mental makeup,
Yep.
because when scouts are out looking at you play, they know you have the physical tools, right? That's why they're
Yeah.
there watching you. But
Yep.
how do you handle adversity? If there's any hesitation, remember, they make their money on trying to find the best players for their organization.
Yep.
And just like college coaches, there's talent everywhere, but how many players can control that 6 inches between their ears? So, you have players that they put their statistics, get velo, get all that stuff on social media, right? All these
Yep.
showcases. And then you see guys with great exit velos, then you check their stats and they didn't get on the field much. So apparently there's skills there, but where's the disconnect, right? The disconnect is when I walk in the box, can I take that 96 from my showcase and find it against a high level program, high level pitching? And I think that's the tough part. We work so much in the weight room, we work so much in the cage, but we need to find a way to truly understand where am I at? Let's be completely transparent with what I'm doing,
Mm-hmm.
and let's build a plan away from the field that's going to help me stay calm, cool, and collected. Because the teams that want to succeed, give me that hitter that can grind it out, and long at bats, and compete instead of just 1, 2, 3 and I'm done. It's just finding a way to slow it down. And first off, those hitters have to internalize and figure out where am I at, and be truly
Yeah.
where am I at, and be honest with yourself to put the right plan in place. And we need to think about it all the time. If I
Yeah.
want to create and change a habit, it's not going to happen. There's studies that say anywhere from 22 days to 365 days, right? It's just how much am I truly digging into it? It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't have to happen at the field. It could happen at lunch. It could be happening on the bus to school. I'm thinking about what I need to do to find that best version of myself.
Mm-hmm.
So we have all these different coaches out there, all these different skills, and that's fantastic. But we need to find a way to that third column that puts me into the right file, the right stack. So I just think players have to truly see what's going on and what's holding them back and what's elevating them. Because right now in college baseball, even high school, look, there's video everywhere. There is
Yeah.
video everywhere. You cannot hide. So if you're struggling, if you're showing too much emotion, everybody's going to see it. It's so easy. It's so easy to see. Everyone's watching everybody. So you got to find a way away from the field to build that machine, to build that space, so you can walk in and be the hitter you envision when your head hits the pillow at night.
Yeah.
So it just comes down to conversations and
Yeah.
conversations and conversations, and getting them open and honest, and finding the right strategy that fits that individual.
And speaking of that too, as we start to wrap things down here, I do want to also talk about the fact that I we get the in this world of the show me it. Well, what can you do? And for to an extent, I believe that to be positive, but it does seem like there can be a lot of anxiety that goes with that. You mentioned showcases. I mean, you got guys that are going all across the state and country trying to showcase themselves off, and you never quite know what the outcome is going to be or who's going to be looking at it all the time or what that case is going to be. And then I think at times you see it kind of translate to on the field or on the product on the field isn't what we were thinking of. And I wanted to get your take on really kind of where we stand now with a lot of athletes going. I have to show the home run power at this showcase. I have to showcase the 99 miles an hour at the showcase. I have to do that. How do we, one, recorrect that thinking a little bit, is it where it needs to be, or does it need to be corrected? And then on top of that, what are some how do we get what are some strategies to get out of that kind of thinking? How do we cope with that necessarily? Um, and I only ask that because, man, coach, I see so many guys that just, talk with them. They get stressed. They may, and even they may be excelling. They may be doing well, but you look at it and go, man, it seems like you're a mental breakdown away from something wrong here. Again, is it something that we can focus on, change up, worry about, and what do we need to do to help ourselves out with that in the world of, again, show me at all these showcases?
Man, you're making me work on this one. So I don't think we're gonna put genie back in the bottle, right? The
Yeah.
toothpaste is not going back in the tube.
Hmm.
Velocity is gonna be out there.
Yeah.
Showcases are gonna get out. They're everywhere. They're gonna get bigger and stronger. People want to. I get it. Coaches want to see what is in the tank. Let it out. Where we at? How hard can we hit it? How far can we hit it? I get that. Um, I believe that in that setting, I get it. But
Yep.
when we're really trying to build a hitter and build a swing, I think that starts in the cages, having cage conversations,
Yep.
getting hitters to truly understand what their plan is, what their focus, what they're trying to accomplish. I love the idea of having, breaking it down. Give me 10 swings in the cage, and each of those 10, tell me what you felt. Because sooner or later, you're going to have to walk in the batter's box and you have to be your best hitting coach. And you need to be able to internalize and execute in the next 10 to 15 seconds. You can't wait for coach, mom, or dad to yell from the crowd. So I think it's great at Showcase. I want to know what's in the tank. Show me what you got. I get it. But we also have to then find a way to be the best hitter, too. I'd love to intertwine great technique with what do you got physically. Let's intertwine those. But when we're in the cage, that's a time when I got to make sure that I'm processing and preparing for that in-game battle. Because if you're just walking to the batter's box trying to hit the building in left field,
Hmm.
oh my goodness, you're going to get nothing but off the plate and soft. It's off the plate and soft, and then everything you've been applying, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So I think we have to have what's my approach maybe in the showcase, what's my approach in the tunnel, and what's my approach look like when I step between the white lines.
Yeah.
And I think that's fine. Students are at school and they're in more than one class a day. They're able to multitask. They're able to make it happen. We got
Hmm.
smart people out there. There's good stuff, but we also have to understand how to drive the machine. Once we get out on the road, where am I going with this? And I just think it comes down to having a structured approach in each of those locations, and then you have to just step back and let the hitter do their thing. But I love the idea after the at bat. We need to have conversation after the at bat when they get back to the
Yeah.
dugout. What were you hunting there? What were you feeling? What did they throw you? Were you on time? And then if we can understand that, great. Let's use the ability we have in the showcase. But I think sometimes, the hitters are left in Siberia out there. Coaches got emotions going, players got emotions going, and nobody wants to talk to each other. We got to have these conversations and do what's best for everybody. And it
Yeah.
just it just comes down to who am I working with? What can I do to elevate them today? What can I do today at practice? And let's put it all together when the lights come on and have a little fun.
Of course, man. This game is all about fun, after all, and so that's if you can learn to continue that fun as you had when you were in t-ball. Certainly, I can only assume it goes very far. But coach, anything else here that we may have missed up on here? I did want to get the chance for you to where if people want to connect, how can they connect? What can they do to connect with you? Or what steps that do they need to go through? I mean, ultimately, how can they get what you offer as well, and what do they need to be doing?
Well, they can, they can find me on Twitter, Instagram. I'm out there floating around a little bit. So select hitting. Yeah, it should be pretty easy to find. They're more tech savvy than I ever will be. They're going to find out what they need to find. So if they
Yeah.
if they really want to find it, they'll find it. But no, the one thing I wanted to make sure I want people to try to I want them to challenge themselves. And when we talk about trying to be successful in the batter's box and in the classroom outside of school, I want players and hitters to start thinking about, I want to be more proactive rather than reactive.
Hmm.
Because when we talk about how can I find the best version of myself, so many people talk about, oh, I'm going to go do some exercising after the game. I'm going to go bring my heart rate down. I'm going to do all these things after the fact. I want hitters, I want students to be more proactive. Meaning, what are my triggers? What am I thinking about? What around me externally is setting me off? What are my body cues? How am I able to recognize what I'm doing without someone talking to me? Rather than always looking for strategies after the fact. If we're doing after the fact, it's like trying to put duct tape on it. The leaky pipe already burst, and I'm going to put duct tape on the pipe. No, let's find a way. Let's find a way to fix the pipe before it bursts. Right. Let's do more on the front end. And if you're all over social media, there's so much about after the fact, how to work it back to it. I get it. There's value there, but we need to do stuff. We need to do more strategies, more conversations on, and let's be more proactive rather than reactive.
Hmm.
And if we do that, I think some of these hitters are going to have more fun, and the emotion they're going to show is more of joy and excitement rather than seeing that helmet hit the ground or the head drop.
Yeah.
But I think if we do more on the front end, we're going to have a lot of happy people.
Oh man, happy people in the game is always a good thing, Coach. Always a good thing.
That's where you're at. You're bringing joy every day. Every time
Oh,
we log on, and you got a video, you got images, you got top 10, there is so much wonderful stuff out there. You should be you should I want to see like double the triple, the quadruple the likes because they're all looking at it. It's
yeah.
fantastic. You got to just keep fanning the flame and keep spreading the game across the state. It's wonderful. It's great to see.
Well, I appreciate it, Coach, and not only for the kind words, but also for what you do in the game. Again, ladies and gentlemen, check out Select Hitting wherever you can. Again, social media is where we found them, so we know you can find them as well. Coach, thanks again for taking the time. I know that again you do God's work over there, so I really appreciate what you do. Whether it's during the day, whether it's at night, you're always thinking of the good of the cause. So appreciate what you do.
Hey, keep fanning the flame, pal.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, again, make sure to check out Coach wherever you can. Again, that is Select Hitting. Make sure to grab everything, and I'll enlarge that logo here for you. Select Hitting. Just search it up. There's a lot of great stuff. Really helps you mental clarity for me, and I'm not even a player, so it goes a long way. Trust me. For myself, Andrew Brown, Kay Nissen, for Coach, really appreciate everything that you do. Appreciate everything that you've done and continue to give your thoughts and more. And until we see each other next time, stay safe on the base pass. Thanks again, guys.